by connecting into our breath. So finding a nice, comfortable position. Maybe your feet are planted on the ground, and your back is rested against the chair, and your hands can rest in your lap. Allow your eyes to close, turning your attention and your focus inward. And finding that breath. Feeling that inhale in through your nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And exhaling out, feeling the air coming back out through your nose as you empty the chest, your ribs, and your belly. Expanding your inhale to the back body, to the back of your ribs. Feeling your inhale press back in the back of the chair. And exhale out the air. Giving yourself this next hour for yourself. Gently reminding yourself to stay present in the moment. And anytime your thoughts start to wander, trying to bring yourself back to your breath and back to your body. Taking a few more rounds of breath on your own. You can start to add in some head circles, allowing your head to fall to one side, circle around to the front, and back to the other side. Taking this at your pace, slowly waking our neck, moving through our spine. Anywhere that feels like it needs a little extra attention, a little extra stretch, hold there. And then moving around. Noticing any tight spots. When you finish that, you can bring your head back to center and then move into our shoulders, taking some shoulder rolls back. And maybe slowly making them bigger, feeling it down to the elbows, to the wrists, to the fingers. And making this bigger with each circle. Taking it a little wider. Give your neighbor a high five. It's not a slap in the face. And as we're making a full circle all the way around, feel the outer edges of that range of motion of your shoulders. And then we'll bring it forward. Big wide circles coming around. And then we can start to shrink our circles, bring it back down to just the shoulders. Each roll, each circle is a little smaller. And then bringing it back into the shoulders. inhale. And an exhale to drop the hands down at the sides. On our next inhale, we'll bring the hands up. Interlace our fingers, maybe leaving your pointer fingers pointed towards the ceiling. If you're able to get your hands right around your ears, otherwise you can bring the hands more in front. If that'll be more gentle on the shoulders. If you're here, we'll just tick-tock side to side. Start to wake up these side muscles, the trunk, side to side. Again, take this at your pace. What feels good? What range of motion do you have? Just taking a few moments to assess where your body is at. And the next time you find yourself on the right side, we'll just hold there, taking a big inhale and an exhale. And then we'll inhale over to the left side. Exhale for length. Inhale to exhale. And then we'll bring it back. Allow those arms to float down. We'll bring our hands behind our head, maybe scooch just a little forward so that as we arch back, you'll find yourself resting kind of more on the top of the back of the chair. That might have been confusing. So as you're forward a little bit, you'll kind of feel that chair up a little higher. You can really arch your back around it. Play around with where you're at. Take a few breaths. Your inhale will be probably a little shorter. Exhale, a little shorter. And on that next inhale, bring yourself forward and we'll exhale down for a forward fold. Maybe those hands will reach down to the ground. If you're not quite there yet, bring those elbows up to your knees and round your back, hang your head heavy from here. Maybe allowing your back to sway side to side, opening up a little bit, allowing your head to say yes, to shake no, using gravity to pull through your spine, pull through your neck, to elongate, using a little bit of traction. And on the next inhale, we're going to slowly come back up, feeling each vertebrae, keeping your head hanging heavy until you get to the top. And then allowing your head to be the last thing to raise up. We're going to plant our right hand on the chair. Then we'll lift the left arm up and over for a side stretch. Allow this to be as big or as small as you want it to be. That right arm is helping to support you into the chair so you can really get a nice big stretch through that left side body. Push that left hip down into the chair a little more as you reach the hand up a little further if you'd like a deeper stretch. And then if you want, we're going to kind of bring that arm out in front as we kind of rotate through our lower back and find this on the opposite side. So we'll put our left hand on the chair as we reach the right hand up and over. Taking as big or as little stretch as you'd like. We're trying to keep that now right hip pushed down into the chair so you're getting a nice stretch. You need a brick? We'll tie it to the chair. We'll inhale that arm forward. And then you can shake those hands out. We're going to find our seated twist to the right. So we'll turn our body using that front arm on the outside of your right knee. And then your back hand can reach for the back of the chair. Feeling the twist anywhere from your hips all the way up to your neck. Taking this as deep or as light as you'd like it to be. turn to the left side, finding this position now on your left side. The back arm will reach for the back of the chair as the front arm is on the outside of now your left leg. Finding this twist, taking your time to settle into it. We'll inhale back to forward. Bring our hands to our knees, into some cat-cows. Inhaling to bring your chest, your gaze forward. And on your exhale, rounding through your back, pushing your belly button back as your chin drops down. Inhale to come forward. And exhale to push back, chin drops down. Taking a few rounds of this on your own breath, linking that inhale and linking the exhale. If there's any other movements you want to add to this, maybe side to side, feeling a little bit of pull through the upper back into the lower back or the hips. Adding in some neck movements. Just taking a moment to just feel your body. Feel what's going on inside. And on your next inhale, you can relax down. We're going to inhale our arms up, and on the way down, we're going to cactus our hands back, feeling those shoulder blades pull and squeeze down and back. Your elbows as if they want to reach back and touch the back of the chair, squeezing hard to hold. And now we're just going to get a little core engagement. Lifting that pelvic floor, pulling that belly button back, feeling everything working together. You'll feel your thighs pull slightly together as your feet push down into the ground. Big inhale to fill your belly, and then exhale to tighten and squeeze the stomach. Feeling that core engagement. One more inhale and exhale. Feeling the strength through your body. And then release those hands down. We're going to scooch to the edge of our chair. We did a little bit of like a dip almost, so we're going to hold the sides of the chair, maybe the edges of the chair. We're just going to do a little where we press up. The goal here is just to straighten your arms, not to lift up off the chair. Feeling just that straightening through your arms as if you were going to do like a push-up on the chair. Those arms are tight and strong. If that feels good and you feel like you're ready for a little more, you can just scooch yourself forward on the chair more, just seeing if you can get a little kind of pressure up, a little release up off your rear end on the chair. And then if you feel like you got even more, you can come off to the edge of the chair, holding yourself up.
If you have short arms, I don't think you can. I feel good, I can. I don't know what to do with my arms.
And if you're back on the chair, just really trying to get the arms straight and feel the engagement through your arms. Feel that pushing through your arms. Feel the strength in your arms, and it also goes back into your shoulder blades, like that cactus arms we just did. You'll feel that strength all the way back. So wherever you're at is fine.
On my shoulder, maybe.
All right, we're going to move into more strengthening. On our way up to standing, we'll stop in chair pose. So we'll find halfway. We'll stay there for a couple of breaths and then we'll go the rest of the way. If that feels like too much, if you don't want to do chair pose with us, you can stay right here. Just take a few breaths and you can meet us once we're standing. If you'd like to try chair pose, we'll scooch forward to the edge of our chair, plant those feet underneath you. You can reach those hands forward up towards me and then lift up, stopping right about when your rear comes up off the chair and then holding. Maybe we bring those hands into our chest. We bring our chest up and we sit back into those heels, into your buttock, feeling nice, strong contraction in those glutes. One more breath. Inhale, exhale, and we'll stand on your inhale. Good. All right. We're going to go through our strengthening positions that we were doing last week. Today's Tuesday, right? So last week, we found kind of our downward dog position. We came into a plank. We lifted the legs. We stepped it forward to a lunge. We're going to find our lunge position. So find a spot where you have enough room behind you. Make sure that grippy socks, bare feet, something where you got traction, because we're going to be back in that lunge. We want to not be slipping and sliding. So we'll start by planting our hands. Let's find our downward dog. So if you want to step back, your hands are planted on the chair. Your head will come down in between your arms. Keep a nice bend in the knee. And then you're pressing back gently into your hips so that you create almost an A position with your body. You can widen your feet about the distance of the chair legs in front of you. You're feeling a nice stretch, pushing through the arms to press you back. Good. So good. And then maybe you want to pedal through your legs just a little bit. You're lifting up one heel, then the other, just to wake up our legs a little bit. And then you can plant those feet down. We're going to roll forward onto a plank position. So you're shifting your body weight over your arms. Your shoulders will come over your wrists. You'll feel kind of a straight line now from your head down to your heels, creating almost like a diagonal to the ground. If you want to add a little push up there, you can. And then we'll tuck the heels under and we'll push back into downward dog one more time. Now you can either take your right leg and you can bring it up to the sky for a three-legged dog, or just go ahead and bring that under the chair. So we're stepping that forward from your three-legged dog or from downward dog. We'll step it right up underneath the seat of the chair. And we'll stretch that back leg back, finding a runner's lunge position. From here, we're just going to bend that back leg as little or as big as you'd like that to be. Your hands are planted on the chair still, and your weight is in the front leg. So if you imagine, if you were coming from the ground up, this would be kind of a spot you would stop. We want to build up this strength to help with getting up and down off the floor. And now if you want to just shift your weight forward, we're going to bring that leg back into our downward dog. We'll find downward dog again. Stretch out those legs that we were just working. Maybe a little pedal through the feet again. And then when you're ready, we'll roll forward to a plank. One more time in plank. Feeling nice, strong core engagement. Exhaling to engage your core, contract the core. If you want to add that little push-up, you can. Nice. Now you can either bring the left foot under, or we can take a moment and three-legged dog. And then we'll bring that left foot under as we shift the right foot back. Weight is through your arms and through that front left leg. And then you can find your lunge here. So you're in this kind of runner's lunge. Now we're bending that back leg as much or as little as you'd like. Finding that breath. Might be a little more labored now, so maybe you're inhaling through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth. And take one or two more. We'll meet back in downward dog after you're done. Taking another moment to pause here in downward dog, feeling the stretch, feeling the strength through your legs, through your arms, through your core. Your head is in between your arms. Nice bend in your knees. Feet are wide as the chair, legs. And you're pushing your hips up towards the back of the room. And then we'll slowly walk our feet to the chair. Taking a moment to pause in a forward fold. So using the chair to support you as we bend forward, allowing your head to hang heavy. Maybe keeping a nice little bend in the knees so there's not too much stress through your knees. And allowing your back to fold. And then we'll slowly rise up. Take a nice big inhale to come up. Getting lots of air in as we come up to stand. All right. We're going to turn our chairs back around. One more strengthening pose before we move into our balance. I'd like to take a warrior two on each side. So we're going to step our right foot over to the right side of the room. If you know where we're going with this, go right ahead into your warrior two. Otherwise, I'll talk you through it. We're going to bring the back leg so we're wider than the chair. And our right toes will point forward as your back toes will point up towards me. So we're creating kind of a L. And then we're going to bend into that front leg as much as you can, reaching for kind of almost a right angle of that front knee, or somewhere in that vicinity. Then you can add your front arm. If you need the balance, keep one hand right on the chair. If you're feeling steady and you feel like you can add in that back arm, we'll add in the back arm. Both palms will point down towards the ground. And you can gaze out over your front fingertips. Just taking a few breaths here in the strength. If that front leg starts to get a little tired, feel free to just shake it out a little, maybe come back to straight, shake it out, and then sink back in for another breath. Nice. We'll bring our hands to the chair. We'll just flip our feet around. So now our left foot is pointing towards the left side of the room. And our right toes are pointing up towards me. We'll just start with a few bends in that front leg. Again, if you know where you're going and you know where you'd like to end up, you can go ahead and get there. Otherwise, we'll bend in, find that good bend in the front leg. And then if you're ready, you can add that front arm in, gazing out over that front arm. And then if you feel steady there, you can add that back arm in. Holding for a few breaths. Again, if that front leg starts to get tired, just straighten, give a little shake, and then back in. release those arms to the chair, and we'll walk our feet in. Shake those legs out. And we're gonna come to our balance. So we'll start just by standing behind the chair. Maybe hip distance apart, and feel yourself kind of rock from your toes to the right sides of your feet, to the back, to the left sides. Taking that all the way around, using the chair as much as you need, or as little as you need. If that gives you kind of a good place to work with, you can stay right there. For a little greater challenge, you can bring the feet closer and then see how much range of motion you have when they're nice and close. It's definitely gonna be harder closer together. And then from there, if you'd like to bring the feet back apart, we're going to go into our heel raises. So the rest of our body, we want to kind of find our mountain pose, where our shoulders are pulled back, our head is lifted up towards the ceiling, our front thighs are engaged, your core is engaged, and then we'll lift up onto our toes, and then see how slowly you can lower back down. We're going to take several of these, so find a good comfortable spot. Working on our balance, working on these muscles of our feet and ankle that are very important in balance. If you'd like, you can bring the feet a little closer for a greater challenge. It's going to challenge your balance more. The closer those feet come together. All the way up. And then trying to go nice and slow down. Now at the very top, your ankles are going to want to turn out just a little bit. So I want to see if you can keep those in and feel nice and strong and stabilized so that your weight is evenly distributed between all 5 toes on that foot. So as they go up, you're kind of keeping everything nice and stabilized and then lowering back down. Now if you'd like to try, maybe with the chair, we'll go up onto our left leg. Let's just try a couple on the left leg. If that feels like too much, go ahead and grab the chair with both hands. If you have any ankle trouble or anything where that's not going to happen, just go ahead and use both feet. The other option is you can go up on both toes, and then you can go down on just the one. Up on both, and then down on one to build up that strength. Just take a couple more on this left side, and then we'll move to the right side, taking a few here. And again, if that's too much on that side, if there's any ankle problems or if the strength's not there, both toes up, lift up, and go down on just the right there. And if that's feeling good, use as much or as little of the chair as you can. I didn't hear it.
So wait till you see what comes next. She said, this is hard.
We're going to shake those legs out. All right, we're going to take a few squats, almost like a chair pose, but just more of a squat, coming down and up. Trying to work the balance here, so going nice and slow, feeling all the feet touching the ground, sitting back as far as you feel comfortable, and then lifting back up. I'm going to give those feet and ankle just a little break before what comes next. If you want to come down and get those feet just a little bit, using that chair, We'll kind of find just like a yogi squat here almost. We're not going to go all the way down, but you kind of feel like a little stretch through the hips, hip opening. Maybe the ankles and the calves are getting a nice stretch here. Using that chair as much as you need. It's right in front of you. You can really kind of lay your arms onto it to give you a nice stretch. And then we'll come back up. And now we'll do some tree pose.
Okay.
So we'll stand on our right leg. And we'll begin just finding our kickstand. If you know where you want to be for a tree pose, you can go right there and find it. Now, if that feels good, your hands can be on the chair. We can work that foot up. And then if you want to add the hands, maybe they're just hovering over the chair, or maybe they're coming to the chest. Or maybe if you're feeling pretty good there, they reach up towards the sky. So you can find whatever point gives you a balance challenge. That's where we want to hang out for now. If that means the toes are on the ground and the heels kickstand up, and that's giving you a little bit of the wiggle wobbles, then that's where you want to be. You want to feel your balance is challenged, but you want to feel safe or like you're going, or unsafe. You want to feel safe, not unsafe. And over time, the muscles will start to react better, and you'll be able to maintain your balance longer. As many of these women can testify, that they've gained a lot of balance, I can tell from up here. So kind of play around on this leg. We'll just hold for a little bit longer, giving you a chance to really work through that balance. If you fall out of it, you come back into it. Giving ourselves plenty of time to be on that one leg and strengthen those muscles, get those neural receptors, alerting our brain when they need to be firing faster and quicker, reacting to these sudden changes. All right, we can release that side. And then we'll find this now standing on our left leg. If you know where you're going, you can go right there. Otherwise, option one is kickstand the toes up and hold on to the chair. You can kind of slowly see and play around with bringing that foot up a little higher, still holding on to the chair. And then if you're there and you don't feel like you need a little more of a challenge, then that's when we'll take one hand off, maybe the other hand off. Just kind of slowly adding on a little bit more challenge as your body responds. If this is the first few times you're doing it, you may be right here with your toes on the ground and the hands on the chair. Just waking up your body, waking up those receptors. Taking your time to figure out where you want to be, maybe adding in those little pieces of a challenge. And as you wiggle and you wobble out, you can start back over and just slowly add back on. And see where you get to this time. Very nice. All right. We'll shake that. She's showing off.
Yeah. I'm better with one leg than I am with the other. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have a seat. We made it through the tough parts.
Thank God. Oh, that's good.
All right, we're coming into the last bit of the session. So we'll spend the next several minutes slowing down, kind of slowing our breath down, using this little bit of warmth we've created in our bodies to stretch out. We're going to hold some poses a little bit longer, working to stretch out our muscles. So we'll find our hamstring stretch on the right side. So your right heel will touch the ground as your toes point up. And then you can find a little bend forward, a little hinge at the waist. Or maybe you're reaching down for your toes. Finding the back of your thigh, getting a nice stretch there. So wherever you feel that stretch, you want to kind of settle into it. Be able to hold that for several breaths. So just enough of a stretch where you feel that muscle lengthening, but you're not torturing yourself. And as we slow down and we start to hold these poses a little longer, you might find this is when your mind wants to start to wander, start to think about what's coming next. Just gently bringing yourself and your attention back to your breath. You can think about inhaling the air, the oxygen, the kindness, the grace, the length, whatever you need. Send that to that hamstring. And on the exhale, just see if you can just fold just a touch more. Maybe loosen that hamstring a little bit more on your exhale. You can stay right there in that hamstring stretch, or we can bring that heel out to the side. We'll find that half straddle stretch, where we're kind of at a diagonal out from the chair. We'll just slide that foot over to a diagonal. And then you can either reach that hand down or turn your chest and kind of reach or fold down. And then settle in for just a few breaths. You can inhale. We'll bring that foot back in. Let's find our hamstring stretch on the left side now. Bring the left ankle, foot out, leg out straight. As you put the heel on the ground, you point the toes up towards the ceiling. And then we bend forward, or we reach the hands, folding. Or hinging at the hips. And then settling in. The option to bring that leg out to the side, finding the half straddle stretch on this side. Either turning your chest, both shoulders towards the toes, or just reaching the one hand down. This is just a personal preference, whatever feels better in your body. Bring that leg back in. Maybe just a little wiggle through the legs. We're going to find our quad stretch back over on the right side. So we'll scooch over to the right side of the chair. So just kind of that left leg is on, and then we'll bring that leg back behind. You can be up on your toes or flatten your toes, whichever way feels better. And then maybe lean back a little bit to feel a deepening stretch through the front of your thigh. You can do this in standing too. If this is too much to the knee or the foot, you can find this position standing up if that feels better. Out, maybe kind of holding underneath the thigh or around the front of the knee, wherever that's comfortable. You're just taking some circles right here on the ground, or bringing that all the way up. Feeling a little stretch through the hip, through the thigh, and then maybe some circles of your ankles. And then pulling kind of those toes back in the little calf stretch after we work those calves. And some circles. And then we'll bring that foot right over. If you're there, we'll cross it over the left leg, scooch back to the middle of your chair so we don't fall off. And then if that leg can come up, we'll just lean forward for a piriformis stretch. If you're feeling enough just crossing it there, then you can hold it right there. You can also extend that bottom leg out, kind of hold onto the ankle there. And then you can just allow that to open up, just slowly making some space there in that hip as we loosen things up. Wherever you're at, just try to sink into it. Feeling somewhere through that right hip, right buttock, wherever you're feeling it. Maybe while you're here, you want to just take one hand and just kind of give a little massage to that calf, just a little kind of squeeze, just to loosen that calf up after all the heel raises. Maybe the front side too. And then if you'd like, you can settle back in for another breath or two here on this side. And then you can unfold that side, maybe circling that leg down, a little shake out, and then we'll scooch to the left side, finding these on the left side. So bring ourselves over to the side, bring that left leg back behind, feeling the stretch somewhere between the hip and the knee. You can stay up on your toes, or you can flatten your toes and be on the tops of your toes, playing around with what feels the best in your body. You can take this standing. Once you get a spot, maybe you lean back for a little deeper stretch. And then settle in. We'll stay for a few breaths. And bring that leg out. And maybe on the way up, we'll take some circles. Keep your circles right down low, or go ahead and grab under the thigh or the front of the knee. Scooching back towards the middle of that chair so we don't fall off. Giving that a little pull in. Maybe taking those circles. And then when you're ready, you can try crossing that leg over, finding your piriformis stretch on this side. Maybe that bottom leg extends, playing around with what feels the best. Maybe we're leaning forward for a deeper stretch, or maybe you're reclining back and allowing that leg to fall open. Finding that stretch, feeling that kind of right on the buttock of that left leg. Maybe down along the thigh a little bit. Taking a few breaths, finding that breath once again. And maybe adding a little calf attention here, maybe little squeezes to loosen that calf up into the front of the shin, maybe around the back. And then maybe settle in for a few more breaths here. And then you can bring that leg out. Maybe a little shake, a little wiggle. We're going to take our right arm, reach it across our body as we pull. Our left arm is going to kind of pull out, reaching it across, going to help giving a little stretch. We're pulling that arm, feeling the stretch anywhere from the bicep, the tricep, and the shoulder, maybe even in the upper back a little bit. Just trying to settle into that stretch, allowing the arm to kind of rest down to the cradle of your left arm. And then here, maybe taking some circles of that right wrist. And then one more pull, maybe using that left hand for just a little deeper stretch. The inhale and the exhale. And then we'll release that arm down. Maybe a little wiggle out of the arms. And then we'll take our left arm, reach it across, and the right arm, we'll give a little pull, allowing that arm to kind of sink down. Allow the right arm to do the work here. And the left arm can stay nice and relaxed. Feeling that stretch anywhere from the back all the way down the arm. Maybe adding in a few circles if you'd like of that wrist. And then one more nice hold, maybe a little deeper pull from that right arm. And then we'll release those arms down, giving a nice little wiggle and a shake. For our last few minutes, we're going to do our meditation. So if you want to put on socks, a sweater, or need anything to just feel a little more comfortable, some water, a little any shimmy or shake that you need to get any last little bit of anything out. And then you can find a nice comfortable position. Maybe your feet are planted on the ground. Maybe you allow your knees to spread open if that's more comfortable. Your hands can rest on your lap. Maybe palms are up, palms are down. Your back can be rested back against the chair. You can allow your eyes to close. Connecting back into your breath. And we're going to take the next 3 minutes to sit in stillness, find relaxation, be the observer of your thoughts. Anytime a thought comes in, just allow that thought back out. Try not to attach to it, not to feel like it's fact, that it's correct. We have many, many, many thoughts throughout the day, and being able to notice them without judgment is very helpful to keep a nice steady state. So knowing that those thoughts will come in. There's not a time when you get to perfect meditation where your mind is completely blank. The whole point of meditation is that as those thoughts come in, you're aware, you observe, and you allow them back out. Anytime you do notice that you've connected to a thought and your mind has started to wander, that's the real work right there, is connecting back in, noticing when your mind has wandered off. And then connect back to your breath. Just follow that inhale in through your nose and back out. into the space. Maybe allowing your arms to fall down at your sides. And together we'll take one last inhale. Rising the arms up overhead, palms come together, and we'll bring our hands down to our chest. Maybe allowing your head to bow as we take one final moment to celebrate all we've done. And as the poses and the strength and the balance start to feel ever so easier, maybe you notice that the challenges in life and the emotions all feel that little bit easier to manage as well. So I thank you all for coming. Maybe see you Thursday.
Thank you.